initial question that brought us to the point of this text is, how big is your faith? And see, the reality is that many of us have faith to believe, but don't own that faith. We're making purchases on credit and have yet to check the fine print about what cancels out the order.
Right.
Paul told Timothy, if anyone denies their family members, they're canceling out their faith. But not only are they canceling out their faith, they are worse than an unbeliever.
Right.
Byron, you need faith in order to connect with God. And what I know, AD, is that God took care of me before I even knew what faith was.
Right.
And when I was stupid and dumb, He looked out for me. You know, God looks out for children, the elderly, and stupid people.
Right.
I was stupid, and He looked out for me. But since I've been saved and have the faith to believe in great things, so much so that the more that I'm believing for, I'm willing to pursue, not realizing that in the midst of needing that faith to get what I'm pursuing, when I turn my back on those that are related to me, I've canceled out my faith and I'm standing there naked. Not only am I standing there naked, I'm worse than I was when I first came. Because it says that I'm worse than an unbeliever. Quite honestly, as a pastor, I don't know what's worse than an unbeliever. Because I only really kind of focus on two categories. Either you believed or you didn't. I don't know who this third category is. But I don't want to meet them. Or I don't want to meet God as one of them.
Right.
You don't go back to zero. You're in negative. He says, you're worse than an unbeliever. Here's what I've come to learn, and I'm just about done. Here's what I've come to learn about relatives. They are given to us, not chosen by us. And the reason why God does this is so that we might get an awareness of a blind spot that is a part of the personal development that matters to Him. I'll say that again. See, our relatives are given to us, not chosen by us. And I believe the reason why God does that is because there's some blind spot within us that needs development that matters to God. And their need often is a reflection of some area in which God has already supplied for us at some point. And their actions are often how He viewed us when it was us.
Wow.
Can I say that?
Yeah.
One more time. God gives us relatives that we'd like to hide from in order to develop a blind spot in us that we wouldn't have never developed if it wasn't for a relative. And then the way that they act that causes us to want to hide is the very way that we were acting towards God when He supplied that very need that they're asking for us. Fasting is the practice of our faith that fuels the power to overcome the problems for the people who come to us that need to see God. For the Bible says that it is impossible to please God without faith. So as I close on out, I'll ask you again, how big is your faith? And how do we know unless there's some action in order to give light to the fact that we even got it? See, because it takes faith to search for somebody that's hungry. When you used to just feed yourself. It takes faith to open up your doors or to help somebody find an open door for them. Because you got other things going on. You got to have faith to believe that while you're helping them, God's going to help you.
Amen. Amen.
It takes faith in order to clothe somebody else Because you might have needed those. See, that's why it's not, you get no credit for excess giving.
Excess giving.
Stuff you can't wear no more. Because you ate too much. Because you didn't want to fast. It takes faith to help out a relative who you know is crazy. It takes faith. So how big is your faith? Because your faith is not measured by how many Sundays you come. Your faith is not measured by how many ministries you're in. Your faith is not measured by how many scriptures you know. Your faith is not measured by how many prayers you pray. Your faith is measured by the works that you do that you didn't want to do.
All right.
Do you believe that God will satisfy you even though right now you may not like what it is that He's asking you to do? See, the practice of fasting, denying yourself for the sake of God. If there's no action, if there's no practice, if there's no charity, then let me tell you something. Smaller than a mustard seed. I'll close with this, because I think this is probably the clearest thing. James chapter 2, verses 14 and 17 say this. What good is it, my brother, if a man claims to have faith, but has no deeds? Can such faith save him? Suppose a brother or a sister who is without food or clothes, if one of you say to him, go, I wish you well, keep warm and well fed,
Right.
but does nothing about his physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead.
Amen.
If you drop down to the 24th verse of the very same chapter, it says this. A person is justified by what he does and not by faith alone. See, things stop working oftentimes to make us aware of something that is wrong in the way that we're working. How much longer will we expect to profit from what we are not practicing?